Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. I want to make sure this is in. I don't think it is. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. No, that is not working. 1 sec. Give me 1 second. I got one more thing I need to do before we get started. I need to get my headphones, and then I need to start to share the link, and then we can get started on such subject. Right now, we're not really too much focused on presentation. I really just want to prioritize talking to you guys in case any of you others are watching. Just to be sure, Loto, can you hear me? Turn the volume down on that a little bit too. That's way too loud. Loud and clear. Okay, cool. So right now, we're not really going to focus on presentation right now. That's not really important at the matter. Yes, Chelsea, I am okay. And thank you, by the way, Loto, and thank you, Chelsea, for showing up. I'm okay. Let's just say there are some things that we do need to discuss. Chelsea, I do have a favor to ask of you, if that's not too much. Because I do, if that's okay with them. Because are you, actually, let me send you a message because I can't really break a rule here. So let me just message you real quick before we get started. So anyways, thank you guys for showing up. I appreciate it. We'll wait a little bit. It's only 8:18, so you know, we're going to try to make this last as long as we can. But we're going to try to be very, very slow paced with this. We're going to try to be, you know, as patient as we can. Okay. I messaged you on Facebook, by the way, so hopefully that goes through. Because I should have done that. Okay. And then we'll get into that discussion and we will explain everything. Actually, you know, that doesn't really matter anymore. It's actually the camera right here. Thank you, by the way, Chelsea. I do appreciate that. Actually, that looks pretty cool right there. I like that. So, is that too bright? Yeah, that's too bright. Okay. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, Loto. I didn't mean to do that to you on such a short notice. Let's just say some stuff had dawned on me from that time span, and I know you're busy and all that. I do apologize on my, you know, full behalf. But there is some stuff that I just need to go over, and I really need to get all this to that. Okay. Okay. So, okay, that works. But I will try to keep an open mind when it comes to timing. So I'll try to do that. Sure. I would actually appreciate that. I actually do need some advisors in terms of that particular thing. So why is it not letting me do that? Hold on. Seem to be having an issue with that. Oh, there we go. Okay. So Add moderator. Let me see if I can add Loto as a moderator too. Okay, so you both are pretty much my second in command. So we'll do that. So you both are going to be added as moderators. So I'm going to give this about 2 to 3 more minutes, and then we'll get right down to the discussion at hand here, because we have some things we do need to go over in regards to what happened, and we have to at least get that. So I'm going to at least wait until at least maybe 1 more or 2 more people show up. Right now, what is most important is not about how many people show up, but at the same time, I want to be at least fair and give it timing, and I want to be completely fair to those who do join. And I just want to see if we can try to build something right here and learn from this, because there are some things I do want to share. And for anyone else watching, before we do get started, there is a few channels that I put in the description. I didn't actually have the links. I just have the channel names. Those people right now are the people responsible for pretty much trying to better me for myself from the pitiful act that I did in one of my videos, and I want to learn from this sort of mistake. So if you could kindly check out those channels, those are the channels that I've been that I think would be good for you, for positive influence, and for other reaching, for creativity, and for other use of content and entertainment. So I do recommend that you check out those channels, and I do recommend that you give them a chance, because they have done a lot. They have done so much to better themselves and also to better me, because if it was not for these people, and there's a lot more people I could have put in this, but right now, most importantly, I have these people mentioned in my description because they have actually done so much, and I owe them a lot. And I need to find a way to turn this around and make this fair enough for my followers and for my viewers. Same thing, tomato, tomato. So I want this to be more of a bettering myself, but along with that is the term of changes. So before we do that, I just want to make that clear. Okay. Sorry, this is not letting me type. All right. So what I want to do, and this is to help out in Loto, I know you haven't seen the video. I still have it on my iPod. I think it would be fair until somebody comes in, like somebody outside of pretty much you, me, and Chelsea. Once we get the explanation going, we'll try doing something from there. But I think it should be fair. I want to play at least the important parts. So what I'm going to do is that I'm really going to do this. Let me, hey, what's going on? I'm glad you're here. So I want to be fair to you guys, and I did take this video down, but I have to be fair, and I'm going to be explaining to you guys exactly what's been going on here. And once we get this done, I will be explaining to you the changes that I'm going to be making and how I'm going to try to better myself for that. Not necessarily offend, but there were some things that I said that I could have done a whole lot better. Basically, it was just me whining and complaining, and I have to take the accountability and the responsibility for it. And there was a certain thing I said at the end, which it was not directed at my audience. I did actually, it was kind of foreshadowed beforehand that what I was saying was not really direct for my audience. It was just more in general. But to be better, we have to learn from the worst. We have to learn from the failure that we have actually have caused, and we have to be better for it. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to play this. So for that way, the whole context of this is understood. And by the way, Loto, I did see the video. I did see, it was also, when I mentioned the Mortal Kombat stream, by the way, there was a whole lot more to it than just the Mortal Kombat stream. It was just the final nail in the coffin for me on that point. It was like, okay, you know what? I feel like I just need to vent my frustrations about something. So what we're going to do now, we're going to play this, and I'm going to explain exactly why I felt this way. So 3, 2, 1. Well, how am I going to start this one off? I'm really just running out of patience. screw it. There's not going to be an intro for this because I really just need to get shit off my chest. I don't really care about the end of the video. I don't really care at all right now. So, as some of you may know in general, I am a very jealous person. I am. But we're not here to talk about psychology and feelings and all that other stuff, but maybe to an extent we're talking about feelings. But in the depths, we're not really trying to get psychological here. But for those of you who obviously know, THrashMetalGuru, I've been technically active since MetalGuru, which was active in about 2009, 2010. I don't know.
9 years.
And it's been ongoing, and that channel has been replaced by THrashMetalGuru, as it seems, and going through a lot of changes in that channel because I realized that some of the stuff that I was doing was just a basic formula of doing the exact same thing, which pretty much I'm doing right now. Which in the difference, I have a green screen background, and I've kind of gotten a little used to some of the app things for that, and I will try to do that if that's ever the case, because I'm really just at a turning point in my channel. Seriously. I have kept my mouth shut about this, or in other terms, I have been passive about this for so many goddamn years.
This is where I'm going to have to kindly pause for the moment and explain this part. What I said on this is that I've been so patient because I've always brought myself down as a YouTuber and as an individual who always put aside my own stuff because I didn't feel like my content was great enough for other people, that I was always the lower of the lower. I put myself down for so many years on that. Now, again, it's no excuse. But I also wanted to just clarify exactly on that point. That is what I felt, is that I kept bringing myself down for so many years just to be cast aside as a lower part of a channel. So I just want to make that part clear.
Forgive me, Lord, for saying your name in vain. But for 7 or 8 stagnant or wasted, it feels like it's a wasted 8 years that I've been trying to do this. I'm not going to admit that my channel's perfect. I'm not going to admit that. Nobody's channel is perfect. I get that. I mean, but there's reasons why I want to do more than just this. You know, I do live streams sometimes. I do video game recordings. I do like that whole, I did that whole Star Wars, the Old Republic thing, the constant uploading on that, which I don't like to do constant uploads, but that's just to show that I wanted to show an entire story with a created character. Anyways, out there, because it's not about that. So recently, because we're going to get into this whole budget thing here in a moment, I recently just purchased Mortal Kombat for about like $90. Now, stop there for a moment. Before I proceed with said subject, I just want to make it clear it has nothing to do with NetherRealm Studios. It has nothing to do with Mortal Kombat. I fucking love the beta access. I love the crap out of it. I have a tad bit of criticisms about it, but I'll cover that if I do. But I love the ever-loving crap out of the beta access. I'm amazed. I'm fascinated by it, by a lot of mechanics that are in here.
Okay, quick pause for just a moment. I will also be reading to you some criticism and some advice that was given to me by NateTalkstoYou. He basically opened up about the certain subjects, about what I said in my videos and about the certain things that I said. So I will also share that, not as like trying to openly, say something out. I actually do appreciate NateTalkstoYou for trying to reach out to me and try to better myself as an individual and as a YouTuber. So I will share with those notes, and that's going to be part of the changes that I'm going to be making with my channel. So with that, there is going to be a perfect little part of symbolism I'm going to show here at the very end of this video. So stay tuned.
Some of the content, which is it's not even all the content. It's just a partial bit of it, and it's fantastic. Okay, I love it. So it's not about that. But guys, I have been a channel that has technically, I guess, after overviewing my channel, has thrived on certain video responses regarding certain YouTubers like the Juggernuggets, Obesian, Life in a Tent. They're sort of like
drama videos, which I don't want to keep continuously getting into drama videos. Okay, that's not even the meat of the subject here. But that's what I've noticed in my overview is that's drama videos, which to me, if that is the only reason why people would come to my channel, then I would just urge you to please just unsubscribe. I don't want to keep.
And this part right here. Again, it's not out of disrespect, but I don't want to be a channel fully known. It's a changed mind, a changed mindset that I don't want to be a drama channel. I don't want to keep having to do those sort of things. I wanted to be more better than that. I wanted to be more entertaining. So that's another point I wanted to clarify. I don't want to be the same exact person or the same exact kind of channel that just sits in front of a camera and just yaps. So I just wanted to make that completely clear.
Doing that anymore. But unfortunately, it just seems like that's the kind of thing that I'm just good for these days, is just making responses to videos like Joy Sparkles, making the video responses to people like fucking whoever decides to do stupid shit. If I wanted to talk about Donald Trump, if I wanted to talk about Joy Sparkles, Onision, you know, fucking Rice Gum, or whoever the hell. It just seems like popular topics to talk about are just the whole thing. But it's not even just that. It's that when I purchased Mortal Kombat, I did that specifically for everyone because, wow, beta testing, I wanted to show people this is what's going on with Mortal Kombat. I wanted to show people out there, look at what's going on right now. Beta release, Mortal Kombat 11. Dude, you guys got to check this shit out. Now, I don't want to whine when it comes to attention or when it comes to viewership, okay?
How ironic.
Ain't no sunshine and rainbows, okay? Just like in the words of Rocky Balboa, it's a mean and filthy place, and it does not care for anybody, okay? Want to make that straight, okay? Because I don't want to have to whine for someone to come over and check out what I'm doing. That's not how I want to play my game here. But
Battery.
Beta release comes out, and it's been technically, what? 9, 10, 12 hours, and I get it.
There's like 9 minutes left on this, so bear with
You
me.
would at least figure that a beta testing that everyone is so hyped up about, 9 to 10 hours later, check my views, 9. 9. That's it. 9. After all of that hype, after all of that, after the crazed hype, and I get it, it's like I'm not expecting a parade, I'm not expecting like an entire flock of people to come over, but there are thousands of other channels doing the exact same thing, but they fucking got, like, what? Like, what do I have, or what do I not have that these other channels have? I get that the upper hands are obviously going to have fucking a lot of shit on their plate. They're going to be up there in the top category because obviously they got a lot more going on. I'm a smaller channel, but there are smaller channels smaller than me that are getting the, like.
Also, get ready for some anger from this video too. Just want to give you the heads up on that.
What am I doing wrong here? Exactly. It's not just that. Okay, so let me get the budget for all of this because I've spent money on equipment. So, for example, we've got this. I purchased this. I purchased the green screen, and there's the lighting. I've even purchased this banker lamp, so that way I can actually have office lighting. So if I want to get a little bit more into serious depths and things. There's also those 2 games. Red Dead was on sale for $45, but we'll get into that whole deal. So we've got $80 here. We've got about $50 here because the webcam was on sale. So that's what, 8, 10, 11, 12. So that's 120. We got Mortal Kombat, which was about 90 because I pre-ordered the special edition. So that's about somewhere between 210, 220, and then 45. So that's $265 I've invested.
Now, I did forget to mention, and I'm not trying to add this to the excuse, but I also bought a computer case and a graphics card, and I'm still kind of building my PC. So technically, I spent over about $500 to $600. Not to add to that, but
that's something I forgot to mention, but still, that bears no excuse. So that's just another thing I needed to point out.
To do more things for an audience, and that is just how my channel just goes. Just for what, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 7 to 8 or just 9 views, that's it. For the $265 that I invest just in general, and this is it. Again, I don't want to. I hate.
Gosh, I want to punch myself in the fucking dick for that.
But seriously, what do I have to do? Tell me, what in the fuck do I need to do? It just feels like no matter how much my channel improves, it's just never good enough. I even like showed my shit all around, like, hey guys, dude, look what I'm fucking doing. This is like fucking fantastic. Fatalities, the gore, all out of the crap. Got skimmed over for politics and stupid ass crap.
This is the one thing that I will not be sorry for. The one thing, though, I didn't mention in my previous video, my apology, that there were 2 things from this, but this is actually one that I really did forget to mention, is that the one thing that I will not be sorry for, and count for this in this particular part, because politics nowadays, it just drives friendships apart. That's the one thing in contrast that I say is one of the most complete bullshit things, is in part to that. As for everything else, I'm completely sorry for. But that's the third thing that I forgot to mention that I think is just the most bullshit part. That's another thing I have to stand my ground on. Politics and stupid trends like that is something that I find completely deplorable to something. I get it. Not everyone is going to be interested in the same thing that I am interested in. That's one part of the criticism that I did take, and I actually had to learn from that mistake. However, though, on the other side of the coin, when it comes to politics and all this, a lot of people get tired of politics. You know, that's why I don't want to focus too much on the political era and the political aspect. That's why I only did that one stream of Donald Trump, and that was it. That's the one thing I did forget to mention. So glad I got that covered.
That pretty much drives everyone batshit crazy and loses friends over, like politics or for controversial subjects. Look what I'm doing. I'm playing a game that I want to promote and show people how fucking cool it is, and people just skipped over it because politics and all that other shit. So initially, not just that, I've been noticing that with my channel. So what I'm going to be, or what I'm just going to say now is that, or ask, what's the point of any of this anymore? What is the point of me carrying on like this if this is the only thing that comes out of this? And again, I'm not trying to be as greedy or anything like that, but you gotta have a dream, you gotta have a goal, you gotta have some sort of foundation to start upon. How the fuck am I supposed to be better if this is the only stagnant crap that I go through on a constant basis? How the fuck am I supposed to get better? How the fuck am I supposed to be like these other people? There's no fucking excuse anymore, okay? I've already pointed fingers at YouTube for their shit. I've already pointed fingers at them. I mean, I can point fingers at myself for my certain flaws, and I totally get that, okay? I'm a flawed individual with a human being. I'm a flawed human being who doesn't have everything, okay? And I'm trying my best to do something to be like other YouTube channels because, I want to have a goal. I want to have some sort of ambition, do something, but like it's just never good enough because it's like, he's just doing this. It's not important. Let's just go look at something else.
Okay, and this is something else I also have to bring up because I did mention later on that certain aspects personally in my life is kind of a factor into some of this. It's not an excuse, but it ties into why I feel this way. I guess you could say in a psychological sense is that it brought up some really, really depressing memories. which I will get into that right after the end of this video. So I wanted to also bring that up in terms of how I feel. So it's not just the channel, it's also in personal regards. Stuff like that was just something that just felt like it was the final nail in the coffin for me, is that, you know, just no matter who I try to be, which, you know, you should just be yourself. That's the important part. It just felt like no matter what I was trying to do, it was never good enough. And I just thought that people would just look down on me or just look at me as though I never even mattered at all. That's what I was having an issue with. So let's continue.
I want to be better. How do I be better? What do I need to do? How can I fix this?
Humor helps. I definitely agree.
I've done all of this. Even rearranged my entire room, built a studio, bought other equipment, including the Vivitar camera. So that was about, what, 25 bucks? So that's about technically 290.
Okay, and I can also punch myself in the dick for this part.
I've invested for everyone.
And that really shouldn't matter anymore.
And that's it. And for what? So for 25, 9, 30, fuck out of here with politics right now.
Yeah, and politics was actually playing a role currently while I was trying to do that.
Take off the mind of things because people just want to argue politics. I'm not going to even delve into personal shit too because it's just like relatable. I'm really questioning the future of my channel.
2 minutes left.
I
or
love
2.5.
doing what I do. But if it just continuously comes to this, I don't want to fucking do this anymore. If I can't entertain people, if I can't try to do other things because I'm just going to get skipped over and skimmed over for stupid-ass controversial subjects, then there is no point of me sticking around anymore on YouTube. There is no point at all. And even if I actually do stick around, you know what I would actually do? And you know what? Out of spite for a lot of shit that I've actually had to receive in criticism, I won't fucking care anymore. I will actually make videos on Onision.
Here it comes.
I will make videos on Woke Official if I fucking wanted to. On Joy Sparkle's Life and all these other channels if I fucking wanted to. How bizarre to feel like I would actually have to go backwards. I would actually have to revert to the old stupid, boring-ass, cringy-ass days of fucking making video responses to these sorts of types of people just so I could be fucking entertaining again. Is that all that I'm fucking good for, is drama videos or making video responses to people that I feel like are just utter fucking garbage, that it's just add fucking homonyms? Is that all I'm fucking good for? That's not what I fucking want. And again, I'm not pointing fingers at my audience because I know that some people...
Okay, hold on, right there. I want you guys to guys want you to really think about that really, really strongly as we reach towards the end of this. Oh, actually, real quick, what part did I not, I shouldn't say. Was it the pointing fingers thing? Yeah, but I want you guys to really think about this because I said that the fingers are not to be pointed at you. Think about that very closely. I'm doing this to myself because I really think that I really need to learn and be better from this. And that is my own fault. And I got to take the responsibility for that. I know I took the criticisms to take the video down, but it needs to be fair, that I need to be fair to you guys, and that I need to be fair to everyone. and I need to learn from this. And I have to take the criticism and the backlash that comes with this. And I'm probably one of the only few people right here that's got to take it, because I'm willing to go through. I'm willing to go through it, and I'm willing to do that. And that's where the change has to happen. But the change has to happen because I have to be fair with you guys. That's what. So if it means getting yelled at, fine. If it means being scorned, that's fine. But I'm wanting to learn, and I want to be better, because I know, and what people have told me, I know I'm 110% better than that. I've had multiple people message me that. I've had people tell me, shut the fuck up. You are a whole lot damn better than that. And I agree. So I want you guys to really, really think about that really hard, what I said, that I'm not pointing fingers, because there's no one to blame but myself. So please, I urge you to think about that strongly. And Chelsea, yeah, you are right about that.
It's unfair for them. It's unfair specifically to whoever's watching this. But I'm just going to tell you.
One second, hold on. Let me back that up, because I want that to be, I can't stress this part enough. This has to be heard.
And again, I'm not pointing fingers at my audience, because I know that some people, or a lot of people there, it's unfair for them, and it's unfair specifically to whoever's watching this. But I'm just going to tell you that mostly it's unfair to fucking me, because I kept my mouth shut about this for 8 to 9 to almost 10 fucking years about this. I'm taking advice from people, which it's not in vain, because I'm actually trying here, but it just feels like it's not good enough. I'm just a worthless channel. So I'm going to stop this, because I'm at a 15-minute recording level here, so we'll just see where the shit goes. I don't know. Fuck off.
I wish I could go back to that time. So I know I've already said this, but I need to say it live. That I am sorry to each and every one of you for the way that I acted. I'm sorry to you guys, because none of you deserved that kind of response. I'm sorry that each and every one of you had to witness those things. I did this live stream mostly because I needed to take the ownership. Because other channels out there, certain channels out there won't take the responsibility for their own fuck-ups. But I am right here because, you know what? I'm tired of running, and I'm tired of hiding behind certain things. I needed to be clean, and I needed to be honest with you. And that is exactly what each and every one of you deserve. And that is why I am humiliating myself. I am basically showing you exactly what went down, and I have to take ownership of that. And each and every one of you deserve a whole lot better from what you saw. And I don't ever want anyone to go through that again. I don't want anyone to be hurt by what I said. I don't ever want to offend anyone by what I said. And I just hope that things can get a whole lot better from here. This is not sarcastic. This is not to be playing with other people's feelings. This is not to mislead people into thinking that something's going to happen when it doesn't, or something's not going to happen, and it does happen. So that's the point of what I was trying to make here. And I know it's foolish for me to do that, but you know what? I did this because I love every single one of you, and if I start tearing up, forgive me. But I love every single one of you, and I don't ever want to lose that, because I know how grateful that I can be to have you guys, Loto, Chelsea, Lemmy, MEM Basis, and anybody else out there watching. And I'm sorry to every one of you, and if I could take that back, I could definitely do that. But I have to learn from it. Now, guys, I've mentioned this before, but in the description are channels right there who have really done some positivity to me, and that's not to exclude any of you guys in the chat. I really recommend that you check these channels out. And that is true, whoever's closest to me. Nate Talks to You is one person in particular that I really need to mention in this case, because he's the one who reached out to me. And I also want to read to something that he said to me that I feel like it needs to be shown, because this is something, he's a person who does a lot for people, who gives out advice, and he is one of the most down-to-earth guys, and I owe him that. So I want to share with you what he said to me. Hey, Justin, I just finished watching your apology video and wanted to give you some constructive feedback regarding your original video's grievances. Number 1, expenses. You go over how much money you spend on things like games and video equipment. While it's nice to invest in your channel and improve production value, how much money you spend does not mean it will bring in more viewers. Now, this is where I need to also admit a fuck up, because this is a McJuggernuggets moment. Yeah. So kind of like he did that series for his house. It's kind of like, it felt like it was the same formula. So that's something I really need to touch up on. Anyway, at the end of the day, what matters is that you're making content people want to watch because they find it funny, educational, and etc. Look at channels like Mr. Medicare. His videos aren't all that polished, but people watch him anyway because he has wit, charisma, and covers topics people want to hear about. So in other words, to expand on content, you know, it doesn't have to always be perfect, but if you can provide some sort of, you know, a flow to your channel, or to like a sense of aura or a sense of personality, that makes it count. Number 2, gaming videos. You talk about how great the new Mortal Kombat game is and how much you wanted to show it to your viewers. However, there was a high demand from your subscribers for these kinds of for videos. Just because you find something interesting does not mean that your viewers will find it interesting too, especially since your channel was originally known for covering internet drama. If you want to make gaming videos, my advice would be to make separate channels exclusively for that, or a separate channel, my bad. That way, subscribers who want to see a gaming channel go over there to watch it, but don't clutter a single channel with multiple genres of content. You also have to realize that gaming is a heavily saturated market on YouTube. It isn't as easy to get noticed in that community as it is in the YouTube drama community. And to be frank, nothing about your gaming videos really stood out to me. The popular gamers on YouTube got to where they are because they are highly skilled at the game, and they have exciting commentary. What you do provides that separates you from the competition. It was sort of that feeling with Angry Joe. And then number 3, optimizing your channel. If you want people to click on your videos, you have to entice them first. Look at titles, thumbnails, and descriptions of successful channels. Pay attention to what they are doing, then compare how you do that to what they do, to how you currently run your channel. Most of your videos don't have custom thumbnails, and the titles aren't written in a way to draw people's attention. Plus, Most of your newer videos have nothing in their description or just a few lines of text about you and not the video itself. Look over those links I sent you. They'll help you out with all of this. So Nate Talks to You, I do appreciate the feedback that you have given me, and I will try to learn very well from the advice that you have given me. I will try to review over other channels, and I will try to adapt to new forms of criticism. Now, this leads me to my next part of the subject, is changes. Those notes that he gave me. One second. Reason why PewDiePie is successful is because it's content. Because he actually has a lot of humor to it. And that's also kind of the reason why I had a change of heart of PewDiePie, because he was also a down-to-earth person. And I think that's what drew me more to him, is that he was more sincere about his content than other people were. I have to go now, but I love you, bro. And if you need me, you have my number and social media outlets. All right, I love you too, Tyler, man. You take care, all right? All right, so what I forgot what I was gonna say. Yes, so changes. Changes are definitely gonna have to be made. So I will take Nate's advice. I understand that gaming is going to be a whole lot of a harder area, because the marketing and pretty much the viewer competition in that is a lot harder. But I will actually create a separate channel for that, for separate gaming videos, which I'll call like Thrash Metal Gaming. I'll try something like that. I'll try to adapt a little bit more. There is a custom thumbnail site that I did see that will help. It's one thumbnail I made for the political live stream, which was regarding Donald Trump and Mark Hamill, MetalGuru Gaming. So I will definitely do that. I will work on trying to improve, or definitely improving, the content descriptions of the videos. And one thing I did notice on myself that I pretty much found out, it dawned on me, is that I am pretty much pressuring myself to release a video as soon as possible. And I don't think I'm taking the time to be patient enough about it. So I've learned from that myself. That's sort of a constructive criticism about myself that I will take into accountability as well. I will not try to pressure people into watching it. Okay, there are certain people that I do know who do that, and I do not want to be like any of those people. Now, to understand and to pretty much explain a little bit further, is that I was just disappointed because it was, like I said, it was not just about the whole Mortal Kombat stream. The official reason for why I wanted to do this, because it was my first time doing a beta test for any game. Understandably so, that not everyone is going to be interested in said content. What I wanted to say on pretty much on a separate note with that is that Instagram and Google was flooded with Mortal Kombat, with sorts of content ideas. People were talking about it left and right. They were having arguments about what characters they wanted in the game, what sort of things that were going on. And I figured to myself, okay, pre-ordering this, I figured this would be the perfect opportunity to do that. Be like, guys, guess what? Guess who just downloaded Mortal Kombat for beta release? One of the most anticipated games of 2019. Kind of like how God of War was one of the most anticipated games of 2018 and really lived up to its reputation. And yes, I do agree. Success does not occur overnight. I do agree with that. It was just the one thing that I just felt like it was just sort of different for me, because it was something that it just popped into my mind. It was also kind of the first game to actually first live stream without actually having to wait a few months or a few years to do beforehand, because the topic of itself wasn't popular. But again, that's kind of contradictory in itself to speak, but we're just talking about gaming videos, not controversial videos. But yes, success does not happen overnight. And one thing I did mention, and I could really punch myself harder in the balls for this. Do you guys remember me making a King of the Hill video, like the best of Cotton Hill? If you have, please let me know. Love you too, bro. So I saw today on the cotton video that I did, last time that I ever saw it previous to now, or not now, but like a few hours ago, because it was made, what, a few weeks back, I saw that it already had about like, what, 30 views from when I first saw it, and then I take a look at it now, it's at 2,300 and something. I could punch myself in the balls right now. But just to make it completely clear here, my ambition and my goal was not about money. Mr. Epstein actually made this completely clear that if somebody comes back, like, say, a certain somebody, Joey Sparkles, if they come back particularly just for the money, that is not a respectable way to be coming back. Now, I will admit that, yes, I was not expecting a whole flock of people to come over. All I really just wanted was to be a little bit more how other people are. But I have to understand that patience has to be more occurred to my channel. And I have to adapt to these changes. And my cat's pawing on my door. Wheezy, come here, buddy. There you go. Come here. So I have to learn from what I have. I have to learn. And I have to also learn to be content with what I have and to understand that I already have groups of people that are here, not just in live chat, but also on Facebook, also on Twitter, also on Instagram, also on that. And I also need to share this detail. This is not a negative detail at all, because this is advice that I took. While I was away, I was pretty much taking advice from family. I was taking advice from my brother. And I'm not saying that his advice was bad at all. It was not. Because primarily, if I overstep a boundary trying to expect people to watch this and it doesn't work, then I cannot place the blame. And Wheezy, please get away from that real quick. I'm not done yet. But I took advice from my brother. Invest in equipment. Try to do something better. Find a way to do something. Do something that really sets you apart from other people. Give me 1 second. I'll let my cat out because he's driving me crazy. Give me 1 sec. There you go, buddy. All right. I think my pal Loto has been patient long enough, and I do owe him a chance to come on. So what I'm going to do right now is that I'm going to take my charger, get my phone charged, and I'm going to bring him on. So I'm going to start doing this now. Try to give it a little battery power. But before I do that, there's some symbolism that I wanted to show with you guys. You already see it on my wall. It's already up there. Of course, Cliff Burton, you know, one of my favorite bassists of all time. Also, one of my favorite Metallica members. And yeah, my cat's a bad kitty. But it's also this picture right here, which I also have a color version of it also here. I want this to set as an example to exactly what I want to tell you guys. In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. Now, it may not make exactly a whole lot of sense from what I'm trying to say, but right now, I want to make this clear. I would rather it be silent with friends that I love and respect than to have people be my enemy and tell me how much piece of crap and worthless that I am. I would rather have that. And I feel like that is more important than enemies. That is more important. And my priority should be with what I have now. And I should not expect anything more. All right, Loto. I hope you're ready. Let's do this. I got 18%, but I'm going to make this count. Okay, 1 sec. Hold on. Try speaking now.
What's up?
Okay, there we go. I just want to make sure I can hear you.
right now. I'm having to check something in the car.
Oh, that's fine. Take your time.
So what's going on with you, man? From that whole video, God, looks like it's a good thing I did miss out on it.
I know, man, but I think in order for me to improve, it was due for me to pretty much humiliate myself and put myself through that to better myself and to do that. And I agree
with you, man. Believe me, I get it. It's, you know, for the amount of time that you've put into YouTube, but you know, same amount of time I've done it. You know, I'm sure you saw the comment I had left. You know, I've been in the YouTube stuff on and off for about 9 years myself, even though I don't take it as seriously. But you know, kind of touched base on some of the stuff that you had said, along with what Chelsea had said. Sometimes, and if I could be completely honest with you, there's times where I do feel that you put a nearly excessive amount of pressure on yourself.
I agree.
And I don't know if it's because of a personal thing. I don't know if it's just that if you feel like there's a need for you to get this going ASAP. But, you know, as somebody who, and I don't know if you watched my entire video, I put through some of the videos that I've made where I don't really get all that much views myself. Like, my highest viewed video is like 30K plus over the course of 3 years that it's been out there. My next one barely breaking over 20. So
I did see the whole video. I actually I got off work and I watched the rest of it, and I pretty much, like I said, like when you did my response or did your response to me, and then pretty much told the story of how you got your PS4 stolen, and then pretty much towards the end, with other matters, but
yeah, that first part was really annoying for me to have to go relive.
I know, and you know, it's.
Well, what makes it worse for that part is that it was my fault.
I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. I mean, that's exactly what I probably should have said in my videos, that it is what it is, and it's not, you know, I can't take it personally at the end of the day. But I think I should share a personal detail about this. I'm not going to say specifically who, because this is high school stuff. And then I'm not going back into like high school romance drama. That's not what any of that's about. So that's irrelevant. But
I don't think, unless you've gone through what I went through, which is having to witness someone be shot in front of you, I don't think anything could be any worse.
Nah, it was one event in particular. It was like in choir class, because I was like a bass in choir, and I was really nervous. Here's the thing. When other people around me actually have to sing a solo in front of like an entire class, I mean that is like a highly nervous thing to go through. Stage fright, yes. I still have stage fright.
Way too well.
Yeah. And so every single person around me, you know, they do theirs. They were applauded. They were applauded for it. So I go up, I do mine. I mean, I'm nervous, but you know, I at least get through it. I get to the end of the song, not a single clap. They just looked at me. I mean, first of all, I can get it. If I sucked, fine. I mean, I would expect at least a boo, but you know, I don't know how that would have turned out. But it's not to boast, but from what other people tell me is that I'm not a bad bass myself. I mean, pretty much, you know, I sell myself short a lot. But like, it was after that, they just looked at me. It was like, okay, well, what was that about? You know, I don't have a terrible bass voice myself. Trust me, if I was not good at singing, I would not have actually been in choir for that amount of time. It was a particular event when I did something I actually, you know, because it was required of me. Everyone else was cheering, cool for other people, but they just looked at me, which I'm not saying in particular, because again, no one said I sucked, which okay, but I just.
Man, on that part, I did get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
It's kind of and I've noticed this when I was going through high school myself. It's kind of a really, really weird stigma. Like if you're one of those people that's don't really have many friends or considered quote unquote an outcast. Like the popular people, even if they blew the song all the way through, like completely demolished their solo, was piss poor, people would still applaud and act like it was the song of the year, solo of the year. And then you get someone who don't want to say they don't like them, but the person they don't hate them, but they don't associate with him or her when they do their solo, and even the teacher feel like it could be the solo of the year, yet there's no applause or no reaction, and it's kind of a, like I said, it's a weird stigma that's gone through schools. I learned this when I was going through junior high. I learned it going through high school. And I'm sure people who are listening to the stream or watching the stream can agree. It's not a very pleasant experience. But one of the things that got me through it, like you, I was in choir. I was a bass. At my senior year, they moved me to baritone so I could go tenor or bass myself. But, I just got to the point where it's like, you know what? I'm not going to do this for applause. I'm not going to do it for a bow. I'm just doing it because it's something that I'm enjoying. And for me at the time, it's something that I did enjoy. I actually liked singing, even though people thought I was crazy because of the fact that I could do different types of songs that nobody apparently never knew existed. One perfect example was the Phantom of the Opera. Nobody in my choir except me knew that existed. And I'm like, have you guys been living under a rock? It's like Phantom of the Opera, one of the most popular stage plays, operas you can think of. And I'm looking, none of my classmates, none of the juniors, sophomores, and I'm looking at them like, what planet am I on here?
And so, and also in light of that story is that in that everyone actually, we all got along in choir. We all did. I never really had problems with anybody. They never had problems with me, and we all liked each other. I just didn't understand, and that's what brought me. That's what connects the whole. What am I doing? What am I supposed to do? What do you want me to do, or what am I to expect? And
well, in that aspect, one of the lessons that I learned from my grandfather before he passed is that at the end of the day, it's really not just a matter of doing what's good enough. So we'll use YouTube as an example. Like when I did my video, it was the first time I'd done a video in almost 2 months. But at the end of the day, it should not just be good enough for viewers. It's also got to be enough for you. Because, and that's the thing, like, you could put out your rant videos and the things that the viewers knew you for, and they could stand, applaud, cheer, everything's going great. But if you're burning out, because eventually you lose the passion because you're just doing the same slog over and over like a hamster endlessly running on a wheel, and you're wanting to do other things. At the end of the day, it's got to be good enough for you, because the only person who can decide what makes it flow for your channel is you. Yeah, you did rants for so long, so I could definitely say for your channel, it's going to be a bit of a hard cycle to break from. Now, and believe me, I'm not saying it's impossible. I think you can, but it will take a good amount of time. So what you could do, you talked about, with how you want to do gaming and setting up a gaming channel. I would say if you want to do that, give it kind of a trial period, and then eventually see if you can cycle it back into your main channel and go from there. I know there's a couple of bigger YouTubers, Boogie2988 being one of them. He actually has a gaming channel. He doesn't do it much anymore because over time he managed to put it back to integrate it back into his main channel. He does with that on that aspect. He does some game talk videos. He does some gameplay videos. It's kind of a back and forth. He doesn't do it very often since that's not what his channel's known for. But when he does bring it in, his viewers do appreciate and enjoy it. Now, the disconnect that I was telling you about, Angry Joe Show. I don't know. Hold on, let me take a drink here.
Okay.
There was some called the YouTube disconnect. Now, for those of you, and I'm sure Lemmy might know this term.
I do too.
It's where the viewers want you to do this, but you want to do other things. The perfect example, and I mentioned, was the Angry Joe Show. The thing that made Angry Joe famous was his angry reviews and his angry rants. So his first ever video on YouTube, which I still watch to this day and I laugh my ass off at, is his Bill O'Reilly versus Angry Joe Fox, whatever the news channel he was on. It was pretty much a whole parody where Bill O'Reilly is having his meltdown and Angry Joe is the producer. And I still laugh. My favorite part in that whole thing, Angry Joe's like, "Are you always this stupid? Or is today just a special occasion?" But the thing with the viewers is that they only want angry rants. They only want angry reviews. They don't want movie reviews. They don't want rapid fire reviews. Like, they don't want anything but angry. And Angry Joe's just like, fuck you guys. Because at the end of the day, it's his channel. If he wants to expand it, he needs to expand it. I feel that's kind of the problem with YouTube nowadays. Yeah, we've got the adpocalypse. We've got the idiot who wanted to spring the adpocalypse a second time. By the way, I forgot his name, but whoever it was.
I know. Matt, what it is? Yeah, that's his name.
Like I said, whoever you are, fuck you, burn in hell, come back, get off YouTube.
No,
You're not welcome here. You screwed us over yet again.
Okay, and
But yeah, so I just think when it comes down to it, and it's like I said in my response to you, man, you got to be able. It's got to not just be good enough for your viewers. It's got to be good enough for you. And whether it's YouTube, you put out videos every couple of days, every 3 days, every day. It's going to take time for your channel to grow, especially given the, I guess you could say, the trend that's going on with YouTube. Like, I think the biggest ones has been drama in the gaming spot. I still don't get how it still trends. Is Battle Royale, which drives me up the wall to this day, just because of the fact that there's some things that shouldn't be trending that trend, and there's things that should trend that don't.
I agree.
And then you get people who find huge success while being fake. Then you get those like you, like me, who are actually realistic, we're being ourselves, even though, I don't use my real name. I never have. But, despite that, I'm still being a certain method, or we don't do what everyone expects. And it's like, what's the, and I admit, like you, I've asked myself, what's the point of doing a channel if this is what I'm going to get? And at that point, I had to emotionally detach myself from YouTube and be like, you know what? I'm not doing this as a career. I'm doing it as a side hobby. And that's what I did. My most viewed videos after that 133,000 view, I've lost track of where it's at. It was just Warframe. Like, it was Warframe. And that's what a lot of my viewers started to know me for. And then when I started to do other games, they hardly got views. So, all in all, when you You know, when you're known so long by your subscribers, whether you have 1,000, 10,000, a million, when you're known for one thing, it's really, it could be pretty tedious breaking that cycle.
And I agree. And something I did forget to do, which I'm not sure how this would actually go. I had footage from Georgia, which I need to edit together and to upload. It's something I really needed to, I need to get back up on and, you know, try to work together on. But it's something I forgot to do, and I had to piece that together. I did one for Texas, which, I mean, I did that mostly for me, and Georgia is another project that I'm doing mostly for me, because a lot of stuff in the day that, you know, there's nothing for me back there anymore, and, you know, I decided it's probably not going to be my official last time going back, but I do feel like I should probably go back one more time and get some more footage of certain places, because I feel like I just didn't get it. But you know, it just feels like over, I don't know how many years, I've lost track. It's the longest, but, you know, I just don't feel like anything's there for me anymore. And, you know, I think it was just because of that trip in Georgia. I took the advice from my brother to do, you know, all of this and to do that. And I want to set the record straight. It's not my brother's advice that caused any of the problems at all. The advice is mainly to, you know, be a little bit more presentable and have more efficiency for what I'm doing. So his advice is pretty much is not to blame. The only person at the end of the day to blame is myself for what I did, for the stupidity that I had actually made of myself. So, but, you know, riding in Georgia, you know, having a look back on about a whole lot of years of my life, thinking about certain things. And when I started making rant videos, I had people just wanting me to talk about kid behind a camera, which, you know, congrats, by the way. Yeah, it's just, I don't want to talk about this anymore. But I will say, out of, you know, a good, sincere form of respect for Pickle Boy, congrats on being a father, by the way. So I'll at least give you that. So
Definitely.
So
you'll be able to make more positivity out of it.
Yeah.
I still don't have any respect for the other person on that side of the coin.
Yeah. But, you know, to me, he's water under the bridge to me, though. There's just no point into doing that. And I agree, Lemmy, that I do need to have a little bit more charismatic. I think something else, which, this is where I have to be a little bit more honest, though, in terms of my brother, where I try cracking jokes. I'm not going to say specifically which ones, but let's just say the more appropriate ones.
Trying to keep it family friendly, especially with this crappy YouTube system.
Well, that too, but like there is just certain jokes that he just didn't find funny. It was like, okay, well, there goes my, and it just in my own regards, like there goes my self-esteem. But there were.
It's the same way with my channel. My girlfriend's always told me that I've got an extremely dry sense of humor, and though there was one joke that made me laugh. I don't really know if I could say it on here, but I'll just ask the question. Someone call it a sexist joke, but I think it depends on your mind itself and how open you are to just for the sake of humor. Why does it take millions of sperm to fertilize one egg?
Why?
Because not one sperm cell has the brains to stop and ask for directions.
Oh gosh.
And in essence, when it comes at the same time, when you think about it, it's technically true.
All right, well, I got a joke. It's a made-up joke, but I'm going to put it in the scenario like it actually happened. So here's what. I said this at work. It made my associates laugh, so I'm going to at least give it a try. Okay, so made-up scenario. I was walking into a bar. I started having a few drinks. I had a few drinks of beer, had a few drinks of whiskey, had a few drinks of bourbon. So I start having the time of my life. I'm all drunk and giddy, and I'm so happy, and I can't even tell what's going on. The room is spinning, and there's whole lots of dozens of people. And then I started noticing a strange-looking man. He's not even my size. He's not even tall. He's not even my size. He's, like, very little. So the strange thing about this little dude is that he's got orange hair and an orange beard, and he's wearing green. So I decided to do a very stupid move by approaching this little dude and started to do this. Oh my gosh, it's a leprechaun! A leprechaun in a fucking bar. Hey, leprechaun, is there any pot of gold at the end of that rainbow? And this dude starts getting so upset. It's to a point where he's getting furious because I keep cracking the whole Irish thing at him. Oh my gosh, can you start singing me a song, young leprechaun? And he is so pissed, he ends up kicking me in the balls with his foot. Now, keep this in mind, though. Keep this in mind. I'm at a bar. I am drunk. I have no idea what's going on. The next day occurs. I go back into that bar. I see the same dude again, and he gets pissed at me. I don't do anything about said subject about last night. So I start getting into a confrontation with him, but I'm trying to be subtle about it and try to be very, specific. It's like, okay, what exactly did I do to piss you off? Well, this is how it goes. Listen here, you fucking asshole. I'll tell you exactly what's so fucking wrong. You're looking down upon me like I'm some sort of fucking leprechaun for that fucking confrontational fucking humor of yours. I'll tell you something right now, lad. It ain't fucking St. Patty's Day. It's fucking Christmas. And guess what, lad? I'm the fucking elf who works for fucking Santa Claus. And I'll give you another fucking key hint. I just jingled your fucking bells in my boot. See, that's a joke that I just made up. The guy was wearing green, but I didn't know he was a fucking elf. I mistaken him for a fucking leprechaun.
I think the only way would have made it better is like, well, tell me something then. If you're an elf, are you going to Ireland to see the leprechauns?
On Foo Island. But see, that was my little like drunk joke, and it's like at the same time, it's like I feel like I offended this dude, but at the same time, I believed I was Scotch-Irish, but I kind of found out, and this is also sort of tying into real life, by the way. I sort of found out that I'm not actually fully Scotch-Irish. I'm actually Great Britain. Oh, shit. Okay. I got one more. This joke isn't even mine. This is by somebody else. And this, okay. If there's anyone in here who's obese, do not take this offensively because this was actually done by a comedian who actually is obese. But he actually, he takes, the work of what he has from being obese, he actually makes that into humor. So he says on one point, I go to a water park, I'm waiting patiently in line, and this water slide, it's pretty narrow, and me being so big, I'm waiting my turn. I'm so giddy. I want to get on this ride. And so now it's coming to that time where I'm sliding down that little slide, and it's kind of becoming a little unbearable because it's a skinny slide. I mean, your ass is going to be bumping up and down when you're going. And then all of a sudden, right as when I get to the dark part of the tunnel, I end up getting stuck. Now, they try multiple ways to get my ass out of that tube. And you know what they decided to do? They sent 6 to 7 kids down that slide to push my ass out. Sorry to tell you, parents, but your kids ain't coming down. Hey, Space Duck, what's going on?
I hate to say it, but that joke could get twisted up in so many ways.
It could. And he even mentioned something about like they actually had to use air duster to actually get them out. Air duster for like computers and shit.
I can only think of one better way to have made that joke even sillier.
What?
They had to send kids with multiple bottles of lube.
Oh gosh. They were a little stuck. Damn it, Lemmy. Oh my gosh. Okay, it also brings me to a cougar joke. So like one of these ladies was saying up on the stage is like, people mistaking me for like a cougar, someone who's like in her 40s and 50s but still kind of hot as hell. I was like, that that lady over there ain't a fucking cougar. Her vagina's just old as fuck. See, those aren't my jokes, but I wish I came up with those. See, that's the sort of humor I wish I had, but like I didn't come up with these jokes. Okay, I got one more for you. I got one more. I didn't make this up. This was by somebody else. This was actually on my way back from California, by the way. So I was listening to one of these jokes. So a lady who was interested, like she was talking about like interracial, like porno and shit like that. So basically, it was between a white woman or a Caucasian woman or and a Chinese man. And so all of a sudden, the lady's like, I'm interested in going doggy style. And you want to know what the Asian man did? Pulls out a fucking frying pan. Think about that. Think about it. Doggy style, he pulls out a fucking frying pan. He eats dog. I was like, how do they come up with these? How?
You'd be surprised with all the types of culture, the types like you could take anything, whether it's politics, religion, life, culture. You could just take it and make a joke out of it in the craziest, sickest ways.
And it's so funny because other people can get offended by it, but those are like real type scenarios that happen in the world.
And that's the thing, like people get, and that's like the people that get offended are the ones that should not be offended.
And like you said, the old saying goes is that humor is the spice of life. It's just, I know there's certain ways that you need to say it right. You don't want to end up like Onion and say the wrong thing and just pass it off as a joke. But when you try to just, you gotta just be.
End up like Onion or end up like Daddy 05.
Oh gosh, Daddy 05. I forgot about that bastard.
Sorry, I had to go there.
Nah, that's fine.
But what is worse, him or Kim Davis?
Oh my god. You know what? I would actually say.
We're revisiting the Blacklist.
Oh, the Blacklist series. I will actually. Okay, here's the one thing. I will make an exception. That will be one exception I will definitely keep from my channel. I will make that exception. I forgot to mention that. Blacklist will still be around.
You could probably definitely do a whitelist series.
Oh yeah.
Some like a YouTuber and then have others give their opinions, constructive feedback. Just to kind of be it's kind of a not really just a way to give back, but also to help not just yourself, but everyone helps each other grow.
I do already have something sort of like that. That's the YouTube Hall of Fame. But I think I could with a few tweaks, we can probably make that work.
All right.
Okay, so we got.
Oh my God! I just got this joke stuck in my head. I don't even know why it popped in, but it just did. What are the top 4 words to destroy a man's ego?
What are they?
Is it in yet?
Oh no, sex jokes. Oh jeez.
Well, that could be used in different ways though, because of the fact that a guy always thinks that he's on top of everything, whether it's work, whether it's their sex life, which has always been the obvious part.
Oh my gosh. Humor, definitely the spice of life.
And to think that I had a bad day today, and this just made it all the more better. Well, the only reason I'm having a bad day is, well, not really a bad day, more like a bad night, because I can't find my notes for that wiki project that I was doing.
Man.
Spend 9 hours taking notes, doing a wiki project for a video game, and then all of a sudden my notes are gone, so I'm probably going to have to do that all over again.
Speaking of which,
hundreds of hours.
So speaking of which, okay, I still have battery power left. There are 2 things in Nevada I actually do want to do, or maybe in Cali, because we actually went past a town, I think it was called Gold Point, and I was told there was a lot of like gold mining and stuff like that. So I figured, why not try a little bit of gold mining? Not like in private property, obviously. I don't want to get my ass shot, but like try places. Try your hand at it.
I was gonna say, yeah, please don't pull a freaking play Pokemon Go and fall off the cliff.
No.
Oh my God.
No. We're talking about like way open land where there's like no civilization. Just like search a spot, just try your luck.
Get a metal detector, or you're gonna use a shovel and a pickaxe.
Yes, well, no, pickaxe. I definitely need. I have a shovel already. I just need a metal detector and pretty much.
Oh my God, Lemmy! Oh my God.
Oh wait, what did Lemmy say? Oh, I'm missing out. Dang it, my mouse won't work.
Why do sumo wrestlers shave their legs? Because they don't want to be mistaken for feminists.
What? Oh my gosh! I got that wiggly tough woman in my mind now. The one that's like, oh.
My eyes.
Oh my god. Okay, hold on.
Let me.
Oh my gosh, I love you right now.
And let me just say that was edgy.
Same with you, Chelsea. Same with everybody else. But like, let me. I love you right now. Oh fuck. I'm so gonna keep note of that now.
God, if I laugh any harder, I'm gonna fall out of this chair.
Jeez.
But that's how you know you're feeling a lot better too.
Definitely. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think we've covered a lot. We've covered enough. And just to be serious, just for a short moment, I'm really glad we got to touch up on these subjects, and I'm glad that we're all still here. I'm really glad that we are all able to still be here, because again, there are many YouTubers out there that will not own up to their mistakes and to their faults. And I'm willing to spend time with you guys, to help make up for that and to do whatever I can to be better, to learn from my mistakes and accept the criticisms and adapt to change. I know it's not going to be an easy path for me. Definitely not. Razor's Edge. Oh, fuck. Dang it, Loto.
They left it wide open.
And cut. Damn. I can't keep a straight face. Fuck.
If it makes you feel any better, neither can I.
Ah, shit. But I'm really glad I was able to get this off my chest, and I was able to become clean and honest with you about the said video. And I do appreciate every single one of you for taking the time to listen. I wanted to say to all of you, even to Athena, even though she's not here because she's probably busy, that I love you guys, and I appreciate the fact that I have you guys. Even if you I totally understand. I actually forgot to mention this, that like if you guys are at work or anything like that, I truly understand that. I have nothing bad ever to say about that. I was just frustrated, just upset, and I was I was putting too much pressure on myself. But again, I'm going to end this off here by saying thank you guys. I love you to death. I will not make the same mistake twice. I can promise you that.
If you ever find yourself in Jacksonville, hit me up.
Oh, definitely. I have family that lives in Jacksonville.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, actually, actually, I wonder if AtticustheDeathMettaller is still in Jacksonville.
I have no idea. I don't think I've seen him on here for a little bit.
No, because I know he lives in Jacksonville.
Yep. Well, maybe if you're ever in Jacksonville, Florida, maybe we can all try to plan a get together or something.
Definitely.
Just
as a matter of
have a
fact,
good time.
My family owns land not too far from Jacksonville. It's over by Tallahassee, and it's not too far.
Nice.
So we're all there. So
where's there, dude?
Definitely. So we might be able to do something because we own land over there, like farmland. So we might be able to do something. Right. But I would have to actually talk to my grandparents about that. But okay.
No rush. I ain't going anywhere for another 3 years.
Definitely, we'll work on something. Definitely. All right, guys.
I just can't wait till Wednesday, Friday, so I can get my PS4 replaced. Finally.
I think I'm probably going to be in the market for a new one.
As crazy as this is going to sound, come out of my mouth, 4 weeks of not having a PS4 feels like pure torture, and I don't even know why.
You'll get there, man. We'll get back to that.
Oh yeah, but right like I said, I've got my Switch, I've got my PS3, and I still laugh at the fact that and this is the only thing I can laugh at with that situation. They take the console, but they don't take any of the plugs. They take none of the controllers. They just take the physical console. I'm just looking, I'm like, really? What the hell? But, as you and I would both say, that is what it is.
But I said, you'll get back on your feet soon enough.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I lost all my God Eater 3 footage, which I was going to put in a full run. But you know what? I give up on that. Somebody already spoiled it. Thank God I haven't watched it, because I want to beat it myself.
All right, Loto. Thank you for pretty much being here. Thank you, Chelsea. Thank you, Lemmy. Thank you, Duck. I do appreciate that. Also, thank you to MEM Bassist, and also a shout out to those other channels that I mentioned before in the description. NateTalkstoYou, AtticustheDeathMettaller, Damian Skyfire, Ranterinshades, Stevie, Wolfe, OfficialGATG, and to many others out there. I do appreciate you guys trying to better me, to make me better than what I definitely can be. So, and to everyone here, I thank you for watching me and sticking around with me, and thank you for understanding, and know that I love you guys to death no matter what.
And for putting up with all the crazy jokes that we come up with.
Oh, yeah, that too.
All right, Thrash. Thanks for having me.
All right, man. Catch you later.
Catch you later.
Bye. All right, guys. Lemmy, Chelsea, everybody else, I love you. You guys have a wonderful night.